Right, it's time for the papers this morning, and we'll get to see the headlines, what stories are making the rounds across the country on the papers this morning. And it's really interesting. We'll be doing about 6 papers this morning, and we have TVC News senior researcher Cyril Abaku joining us right now. Cyril, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. That is what Ngozi always waits to say.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. Even from yesterday, she was excited already. Thursday is the new Friday. That was yesterday, and then we have it today.
You're just scandalizing me.
Except that
you've been pushing it to me. Meanwhile, all the excitement is actually yours.
No, but the point there is, it comes from her. It's just contagious.
Mike, I walked tomorrow again. So.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. We begin with the punch. PDP kicks as FG cautions U.S. against granting Atiku visa now. We want the U.S. to be neutral and wary of taking any decision that will give the impression that they are favoring or endorsing one candidate over the other. It's Minister speaking there, Lai Mohammed, Information Minister. You know, like somebody say, why are you taking, painkillers for another person's headache?
No, but I think this is a serious story.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
What makes it that serious?
If the APC is indeed worried about this, they should be talking to their lobbyists. It's an international issue. They shouldn't be talking to the Nigerian press as if, they are helpless and that they are crying. I've read virtually the full text of Lai Mohammed's engagement with journalists. I think it was yesterday. Yes. He spoke about almost all the topical national issues today. The other election time, John Kerry was here. Obama even made a speech. Even the U.S.
sent a special video to Nigerians.
Jonathan particularly said that he was working well with Cameron, right? With Cameron as with the French president. But that Obama lobbied and pushed them until they became his enemies. So when the U.S., the UK, and France turned against Jonathan, he lost the election. Those people took more than personal interest in 2015. Where if that same trend is coming now against, they know what leverage.
The implications of
this. It gave them the last time. So if indeed the same thing is coming. I was here last week when we were talking about a letter a member of the House of the UK Parliament wrote about business in Nigeria, why investors shouldn't come. And I said, these things are not coming at this time for nothing. Yeah. There is something. There is. There's
an end in mind.
Yes, like when the hand enters to the pot and comes out like a monkey's hand. Something is really in the offing. And so if they want to raise a counter punch, they shouldn't be talking to us. They should be talking to those that matter.
No, but the point there is ultimately, if the U.S. is taking any decision, it is about their interests first.
Yeah.
The American president puts it very straight, Donald Trump, America first. So whether they grant Atiku Abubakar visa or not, it has to do with what they feel is their interest.
For them would be,
so whatever impression you deduce or whatever meaning any other person, including Nigeria, deduces from that, is totally their business.
Yeah. All right, moving on. As a Man United fan, I'm envious of Chelsea. Okay. That's a Jagaban, speaking there. Of course, Mikel Obi visited him at Bodilon, and he couldn't help but, talk about this. Very interesting one. Okay, Boko Haram using drones and foreign fighters. That's according to the Nigerian military, the army. Okay. What do we make of this?
Yes, yesterday when they issued that statement, I think it was point number 6 on the statement that they issued. And we are concerned, perhaps not because this is particularly news coming out at this time, but we feel that the military should have done its homework a little bit better. I think that there's a bit, I have said several times that Boko Haram looks like an industry for some people. People are making money out of it. Otherwise, it's not just enough to tell us that that are using drones and foreign fighters. They should have known this long ago. And so what are they also doing?
Yeah, since you know,
how did they get these drones into Nigeria in the first place?
To counter that.
Yeah.
How did they get these drones into Nigeria? And what is our firepower per capita, so to say, against theirs? So if we're using inferior ammunition, if we're using inferior weapons at a time when we knew that at the time, all the arms and ammunition Boko Haram was using were things they took from our soldiers. And then they continue to gather better intelligence than we do. They continue to attack our soldiers and kill them in numbers. That time of thinking that we've defeated them or degraded them has gone.
It's almost as if the army is accepting defeat by saying, look, these enemies that we're fighting are using drones and foreign fighters. And you know what? Well, these people are actually superior to what we have.
On the other hand, I wouldn't see it that way. The point there is the military will never accept defeat. Number 2 is that when it comes to
but when you make statements like this,
yeah, this is just news. This is just trying to engage. It might not come out rightly, but this is a way of trying to engage Nigerians and letting them know this is what is going on. This is what is going on. So, so that it tells Nigerians to the kind of tactic or the kind of Herculean task they have to face. But in looking forward to new dimensions and new strategies.
If all of this were to give them some sympathy, please, just 1 minute. If all of this was to whip public sympathy in favor of the military, then they've still fallen short of expectation. All the efforts Buhari is taking now, traveling to Chad and so on, shouldn't be fueled by what eventually happened. It could happen, no doubt about that. But that we don't see, at a time we claim that we've degraded, we've defeated, technically outnumbered the terrorists, and they still are able to inflict this great damage. And it's after this damage that all this effort now come into play. It's questionable for me.
Okay, moving on very quickly. Amosun's men, others defect from APC. Generator fumes kill 3 family members in Oshogbo.
It's really sad.
Very sad. Sorry. Very sad indeed. Very, very sad. Okay.
Okay. Now, the next one now is the Nation newspaper. Boko Haram, Buhari, other leaders draw new war plan. Nigeria rallies Cameroon, Chad, Niger against insurgents, and U.S. orders fighter jets for Nigeria. This news came out this morning or late last night as to America, awarding the contract for the production of 12 Super Tucano aircraft.
You know, you were saying earlier that if it is not in their interest, they will not do it. They need the money.
But in the minds of Nigerians, this contract would have been awarded long before now.
If you don't push for it, it will not happen. So many people asking on social media now, the $1 billion that was sought for, I was on this program, we were talking about the fact that without appropriation, monies were released. So what is happening to all of these funds? How? Now we are hearing about a new plan according to this headline.
Yes.
But personally, and in fairness to my conscience, I do not think there was an old plan
to start with.
Because I don't know what broad plan they had defeating a defeated enemy. What I knew we did before now was that as soon as Buhari came, people said that with the benefit of the fact that he was the previous soldier, that he had been in the army, he would know better how to deal with them. So first thing, we shifted the command and control center to Maiduguri, which I faulted anyway. That was before then. Jonathan had created a division in Borno. Things went haywire. Soldiers opened fire on their GOC. Do you recall?
Yes.
So for me, the primary thing we need to, in fact, it goes over at the time that Ghana said they were going to send us soldiers to help us fight Boko Haram. We're using mercenaries from Ukraine, mercenaries from South Africa. What we need to do, first of all, for me, is that we should be sincere with ourselves as to the enemy we are facing. We are not facing a ragtag group of Alaye or Agbero boys. People that can take on an army barracks and sack a brigade or
who are strategic in their planning and strategic in executing that plan.
The AFP said that between July and now, and Metele, I hope you know that after Metele there was another attack again. We had 3 soldiers we are said to have been killed. Now the issue is that about 17 attacks are taking place between July and now.
Yeah, exactly.
So without sincerity,
attacks between July and now. Well, the point there is the military said it's an isolated case. Or sorry, maybe the government says it's an isolated case, the Metele attack and all of that. So let's move on. PDP kicks as federal government advises U.S. against visa for Atiku. And no buyers as Naira drops to 370 against the dollar. I think that's a major depreciation, but it's still stable in relative terms. Fire-Me closes case at election tribunal. And yellow fever alert in Ondo. That's a troubling one.
Which one again? The
yellow fever outbreak. All right, let's move on.
And to think that it spread, by mosquitoes, you want to hope that our public health.
So more mosquito nets should be given out free of charge.
Is it just mosquito nets?
Enlightenment campaigns and so on. I remember the federal government, I think, told states to carry out an enlightenment campaign on which of these fever before even yellow fever came on board. So.
All right, to the vanguard now. Confusion in Amosun Okorocha's camps. The men around this gentleman have been decamping. They've been moving to other parties, except for the men themselves.
The men around this men.
Okorocha says, well, I have done all I could to stop this you know,
the movement.
The movement. They disobeyed me, but you know, it's their fundamental
No,
right
no,
to move.
Sorry, Ngozi.
Yeah, including Uche Nwosu,
No,
who has gone to the DPP.
Sorry,
also.
if the report I read was true, what Okorocha said was that for enough for them to realize their ambitions, they will leave the APC. He will remain in the APC. Then anybody they go to, he will support them.
Okay.
But that jointly they will all work for Buhari's election. You know,
election
very funny. How is that on earth not an anti-party activity in the university?
Well, it could be their own tactics. You remember in Anambra State where there's an arrangement where somehow for the states. For the governorship and Senate and House of Reps and all of that. ABGA. But for the presidency, is the other party. So it could be any, but it could be interpreted
without the
anyhow.
formal alliance.
The fact remains, it's a strategy that he believes will get him the results he needs.
Exactly.
So let's, you know, wish him
There
luck.
could be local alliance at the level of the state. It's possible.
And Boko Haram was still under siege, and it's a Shehu of Borno that's saying this, you know, telling Buhari that, look, we don't believe all this talk about, you know, a technical defeat of Boko Haram.
When it comes to
whatever they're doing is not yielding any results.
When it comes to knowing what is going on,
it's the people themselves.
The Shehu of Borno, for instance, His Royal Majesty El Kanemi.
Yes.
No one would know the ground as better than he. So when he said we are still under siege, believe him.
Yeah.
And the fact is that, look, I said it with all soberness or with all sobriety. There are territories that are still being controlled by these people. We need to admit this.
No, the Nigerian military says
and then we
no
look for
territory. They're saying there is no territory.
More than 100 Dabji school girls that were taken. Where did they take? If you're not controlling,
they were taken through.
Where were they taken? These are questions that other logic to be able to knock off for us.
Okay, Akpabio, Speaker, bicker over alleged assassination plot. Of course, Emmanuel Udom has been, you know, pointing the accusing finger at Akpabio, you know, as being the brain behind this crisis going on there in Akwa Ibom State. Yahoo Plus ringleader slums and dies. Nigeria to overtake India as world capital for under 5 deaths. And, you know, what the World Bank has been saying, I mean, with a population of 1.3 billion in India, that's less than, you know, 1 million are dying. That's under 5s. But Nigeria, about 196 million people, and you have almost 1 million under 5s, you know, losing their lives.
Infant mortality.
Infant mortality is a very, very serious problem. Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. is quite interesting this morning, and it has to do with the Calabar woman, you know, being a very good cook. The whole world knows that. The whole world knows that.
Well, it's okay.
So beware of the Calabar woman. Afang, Atama.
Okay. All right. So are you people saying that we should all look towards Calabar and Akwa Ibom? Is that what you're saying?
But have you not?
My next paper is this day. This day newspaper is next. Federal government expresses reservation over moves to grant Atiku US visa and says it could indicate his endorsement. And Buhari may review status of service chiefs. Mohammed insists war against terror is on course. That's the Minister of Information. And Amoson's associate Akilade Dom's APC picks APM governorship ticket. All right, Nigeria businesses lose 25 billion naira annually to power outages. And then we have NCC sets 2020 for 5G rollout in Nigeria. Have we had the 4G adequately for the...
No, we haven't.
All right.
Okay,
let's see. It's a good target.
We're moving on to 5. And we're not done with
it. Yeah, we'll just jump.
Okay, to the Daily Trust. Yes, let's jump to the Daily Trust. Fresh setback for APC peace moves in Zamfara, Ogun, and Imo as replacement of candidates ends. Police officer, 3 children found dead in Oshogbo. I guess it has to do with the same story about, you know, family and members.
Hospitalized.
Yeah, you know, dying from generator fumes. And aren't we all really exposed to generator fumes?
Yeah, no, of course.
One way or another.
Yes.
I mean,
especially for a place like Lagos, where every home you go to, there is one generator. Whether I pass my neighbor, I pass my landlord or not, there's one generator or somewhere.
Yes, you know, the argument is that the cost of living is high, but the standard of living is low.
It's very low.
And so you spend a lot of money. Generator fumes are one. When you're in traffic, it is guaranteed.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't have, if
carbon monoxide coming from vehicles is another thing that we have to contend with.
Yes, but let's come back to domestic hazard of generator fumes. So you're hailing this thing every single day.
Every day.
You have to buy your generator to pump water, to have electricity, for almost everything you need to do. And come to think of it, how much we're losing as an economy is one. And how much we're losing in terms of human quality.
Trillions every year on generators.
How do we, and look, the missing link between the two is ideas. If as a nation we're open to ideas, we have hydro sources, we have solar sources. There was
all the sources that you can actually think
There was
about.
a wind source that was inaugurated in Katsina 2014 or 2015. After that inauguration, we didn't hear anything about it again. I think what we need to do is to diversify the power portfolio properly and hybridize, if we can do that. Because we can't continue to say that everything, Kainji Dam, what's the dam now? Shiroro Dam and so on. There must be other sources that we can also optimize and make them standard. I know that the old NEPA was fighting solar engineers and saying that solar power cannot stand. But if other countries are making it stand, why can't we also make it,
just
a serious option?
Just a few days ago, the governor of Edo State was very vehement against the...
No, he asked him out of his office.
He walked BDC,
so we're in darkness here.
MD,
what are you doing?
Out of his office.
And Mike, on top of all of these, you pay for power when you don't see power. Where I lived at the time, they give you light twice in a week, every week, twice in a week, just 2 days in a week. And those 2 days, maybe 3 hours or 1 hour or something. So one day, the young men in the area lay ambush to the NEPA, but they didn't come again.
Okay.
without light.
Yeah, self-help.
Too bad.
All right, the final paper now is the New Telegraph. 2019, APC governors, loyalists, legislators dump party. Oh, Amoson's anointed successor, others move to APM. Akeredolu's associates seek refuge in AA. And 2 reps join SDP. Okorocha's men, mall exit, consider DPP, DA, MPC.
Who says fringe parties have no use?
Of course. You find,
but
in the whole, that's the beauty of democracy. World Bank EU NDDC partner on, $280 million projects. All right, we'll wait to see the outcome of those. And Naira slumps to 370 Naira against the dollar in parallel market. Import hoarding exert pressure on greenback. Okay. We also have on the gloomy Xmas, how pastors swindle Nigerians via new MMM. I can't trust any man of God again, as to see the victim.
So sad.
Yeah, we have some of the stories I watch everywhere. Activists sue FIRS over Atiku's tax receipts. I'm ready to engage Buhari, says PDP presidential candidate. All right. Quite interesting headlines here. Interesting, positively, interesting, negatively, and all of that. Well, Cyril Abaku, thank you for
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike Arengozi.